Focaccia is one of the easier breads you can learn to make, especially if you're new to bread making, because it requires very few ingredients and no special tools. So, with that, let's get started. To 2.5 cups or 600 grams of water, you're going to add 7 grams or 1 packet of active dry yeast, 15 grams of honey. Mix well and then set aside. To a very large bowl, add 800 grams or 5 1/3 cups of flour, 1 tablespoon or 18 grams of salt, and mix well to combine. To that, we will add the yeast, honey, and water mixture from earlier, then add 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil. Mix well to combine all this together. You want to do this until you no longer see any more dry flour left in the bowl. For me, this was a lot easier than it should have been because I added too little flour to mine. So you're going to see that I come back and add another 200 grams to mine to get the 800 grams of flour. Here's where I'm adding the 200 grams of flour to get to the actual 800 grams of flour. And then from here, I'm just going to continue to mix all this in until all the flour has been incorporated. Then using a spatula, scrape down the edges of the bowl. Next, we're going to add some olive oil, a couple tablespoons. And then using our spatula, we're going to work around the edges of the dough to help that oil get underneath and to coat the entire outside of the dough. Then we're going to cover it and let it set on the counter for 12 to 14 hours. After the dough is completed rising, coat a rimmed cookie sheet with olive oil. Then, turn the dough out into the pan. Without tearing the dough, work it into all of the corners until the dough completely covers the pan. This will take some time. The gluten in the dough has tightened up a good bit at this point, and it will keep trying to shrink back up again. So do a little bit of stretching and pushing out into the corners, and then let the dough rest for a few minutes, and then come back and keep doing that until you've got it filling out the whole pan. Now that it's all mostly stretched out into the pan, we're going to use our fingertips and put dimples all over the dough. This is going to come in handy later when we coat the top of the dough with oil and the brine that we'll be making next. And now we'll drizzle on another 3 or 4 tablespoons of olive oil. I was trying something new here to spread the oil out, and it didn't really change anything, so you can kind of skip this step. For the brine, we're going to combine 1/3 of a cup of warm water and a tablespoon of salt until it's fully dissolved. Then pour that as evenly as you can over all of the dough. Then let this sit out and proof for 45 minutes. At 30 minutes, you're going to want to start preheating your oven so that it'll be ready when the dough is ready. At the end of the 45 minutes, we're going to want to chop up some rosemary and to sprinkle it all over the dough. Then place it in a 450 degree Fahrenheit oven for 30 minutes or until it looks like this. Immediately after removing from the oven, pour an additional 4 to 5 tablespoons of olive oil over the top. Then let set for 5 minutes. This will give it time to absorb. Now you can remove it from the pan and enjoy. I hope this has tempted you to get into your kitchen and make some for yourself. Remember, if you do, let me know how it went in the comments below. You can find the ingredient amounts and the written steps in the description below. If you like this video, don't forget to click like and subscribe. With that, I want to thank you for joining me in my kitchen today. So long and happy cooking.